Yo, what's going on, guys? We're here with Ben. He got first place at locals with Mirage. He's going to take us through the deck and the techs, and I'm going to say nothing. Let's go, Ben.
Yeah, sweet as. So one locals with the tax dog, just grinding and testing it, getting ready for our Nats coming up on an Australia Day weekend. So yeah, just testing it, refining it, finding out good matchups and bad matchups and stuff. I'll just quickly run through the list though, just because it is Mirage. It's fairly figured out already. So I'm playing just a pure blue variant, yeah, which I just enjoy better because it's more consistent than I think the Night Galaxy version. Yeah, so we'll just go through the list real quick. We'll start with the rookies. It's just three of the good Galmon. On play, both players draw a card from the deck, which is huge for the combos in this deck. This is your most important rookie. You need to see it all the time. And then inherit memory, gain memory when a card's added to your opponent's hand, also huge. And then just to round out our rookies, it's just floodgates. So it's three Modokis, stuff your opponent gaining memory, but from Tamer effects. Three Siyakumons to stop players reducing Digivolution costs, which is crazy in this meta right now, just because of all the trainings, the proto forms, and the scrambles running around. Because we're now on the 11 step, so. And then just one of the Tamers, just because it's nice in the certain matchups like your hybrid decks and Death X and whatnot. And we'll just quickly jump down to our champions. I'm on 10 of them, just because in testing, not seeing a level 4 fucking sucks. Like, it's terrible, but it's upped it by 1. So it's just 4 of the EX6 Gaogamon, where it's return level 3 or lower, so he's out all your opponent's floodgates, so you can play the game. And then inherit, same as EX4 Gaomon, gain memory when a card's added to your hand. To your opponent's hand, sorry. Then it's 4 of the cracked Gaogamon, the BT16. So when digivolving, both players draw an additional card. And then if they got 8 or more, gain 1. So if you digivolve on top of your Gaomon from EX4, you gain memory. It's insane. As a free digivolve, essentially. And then the inheritable jamming. Like, they just print jamming on every blue inheritable these days. And then our last Gaogamon is the BT13. So when digivolving, if you don't have a Thomas, play one. It comes up every now and then. I just couldn't think of a better level 4 to slot in here than this one. And then our last level 4 is the ZQmon. Well, I don't even know how to say this. It's just the bird. Yeah, so on play, return a level 3 to your opponent's hand, and then inheritable is jamming. So it's a funny mix of the two Gaogamons. You get the inheritable of this Gaogamon from the BT16, and then you get the inheritable, the when digivolving of the EX4. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. It's fairly standard so far. And then we'll talk about the level 5s. We'll start with a combo starter, which is Hunkuamon, or Hakutuamon, however you want to laugh and joke about it. So on play, when digivolving, you get to play a level 3 from its sources out. You're never using the on play, it's always going to be the when digivolving effect. And your main target is always going to be your EX4 Gaomon, just so both players are drawing additional cards. But if not, spewing in a floodgate is just always going to be good, regardless. And the inheritable, it just allows you to tuck another Digimon from the board under it to unsuspend. So it's really good if you can tuck, say, a Gaomon to get the inheritable back, or a Gaomon to get jamming under it. So either way, it's really nice. Then I'm on 2 of the pseudo aces, just because having an ace is nice in the deck. Half the time you don't digivolve into it unless you absolutely have to. You mainly just use this card to play out if you're sort of bricking on your hand and you need something to do. So you shoot this out next turn, hopefully your opponent can't out it. Then you go into your Mirage and go, alright, cool, I'm ready into Mirage, what are you going to do about it? And then the 2 one-offs in the deck. The first one is Hunkuamon. This is very matchup specific. So it's on play when digivolving. One of your Digimon can't be deleted by battle, which is good. But it's inheritable while we play it. So we play this card just so you don't lose to stuff like Mother D Reaper, Shadow Blocker Staff, Magna, and I've recently learned 3 Great Angels, because that is a very tough match for this deck, and this card helps an immense amount, just because all the angels get blocker under the Minimon. And then our last level 5 is MirageGaogamon. Now this card's limited for a reason, but honestly, like, why limit it when you've got the bird as well? Like, it's just ridiculous. So you return a level 4 or lower to your opponent's hand, and the inherited is, and your opponent's got 8 or more, unsuspend. So mainly your 5s are your extenders that let you keep attacking turn after turn. And it's just crazy how much output this deck can do, or how much damage this can do. And then we'll go to our sixes. The best dog in the world, Mirage. This card is ridiculous. It's a giant floodgate that doesn't let your opponent search or find the outs, and it lets you go crazy. So the best thing about this card is if you don't return a Digimon from the board to your opponent's hand, you return the top card as security. So you can play this two different ways thanks to this card. You can either play super control, super passive, and just keep bouncing things. And if you're not, you're bouncing the security and burning it, reducing the amount of interaction there is, which is insane because the less interaction there is, the less chance your opponent has to fight back and clap back at you. Or you can go absolutely insane and just go OTK with all the inheritables that let you unsuspend. And then to round off our sixes, we will go to Hexablayer. This card is just another very powerful floodgate that stops your opponent from attacking on their turn if you've got more sources. Iceclads are a decent effect, but realistically you play just for the opponent's turn effect to slow them down to why you build another stack. And then onto our sevens now, we'll talk about Mirage Burst Mode. This is just your game finisher and another control tool. So the good thing about this is you can bounce any level on the board and that's fine. But the best part about this card is it's one attacking effect. You just rip their hand apart. They even make them draw like 6-7 cards. You rip their entire hand out, bottom deck it, and hopefully you take all their good pieces out of their hand. And then you restand and keep doing the combo. So the reason everything lets you draw one and your opponent draw one is to enable MirageGaogamon Burst Mode. And our last level 7 is Bond Ace. Look, it's just a defensive play you can have when you get to your level 6 slots. So when Digivolving or on play, return to your opponent's Digimons with fewer or as many sources to the bottom of the deck. And then when attacking, if you have a Tamer, unsuspend. It's a pretty good card into certain matchups. But yeah, just having a defensive play once you get into your level 6 feels really nice, even though it's only a one-off. Yeah, it feels pretty good. It feels good, but at the same time it feels bad because it's not a burst mode. But we'll keep tinkering around with it and see how I feel about it in a week or two. And then we'll move on from that to our Tamers. So it's just one of the BT13 memory set Thomas. And then 2 of the BT4 Thomases, which is just on play draw one. And then the other Thomas is when a Galmon's attacking, you tap it and both players draw one. There's nothing crazy about these Thomases. All they allow you to do is burst into your MirageGaogamon for no cost. And these help enable your combos by unsuspending and forcing your opponent to draw. These are just extenders at the end of the day. They're not the most important pieces in the deck, which is why I've cut down so much on them. And then our options, we're just playing pure consistency. So it's 3 members, just for deep digs and grab the pieces that you need and get memory later. 4 of the mental for reduced evolution cost and more search. And being at 2 cost is really good for choking your memory at 1. Because once you get into Mirage, choking the opponent at 1, it's almost impossible to play out of. And then last but not least is the 2 scrambles. This card is insane in the deck. If I could, I'd bump it up to 3, but the list is really tight as is. Yeah, so what this does is one of your Digimon can Digivolve for a reduced cost of 3. So you can get in any of your level 5s for no cost, essentially, with the blue scramble. With 2 costs for the blue scramble. Or your level 6s are 1 cost, which is insane with Mirage and Hexaglayer. And then the start of your turn effect. So if your opponent has a Digimon, return a blue card from the top of your deck. From trash to the top of the deck. So you pretty much get to stack the deck however you like before you draw for the turn, which is fucking wild in my opinion. So if you're missing a certain piece, you can just go, sweet, I've got it in the bin, I'll put it back on top. But then if your opponent, if you don't have a Digimon on your board, you get to play one of your rookies out. That's 2k or less. So your only target you miss is Siaku here. Everything else is a legal target. But you always kind of want to get into your EX4 Galmon off the effect, so both of you are drawing cards. Like if I could, I'd play Scramble at 4, but like I said, the list is really tight. So you're better off playing Blue Booster and Mental Training to search for everything. And that pretty much wraps up the list. There's, like I was saying before, there's 2 different ways you can play Mirage, in my opinion, with this sort of list. You can always go OTK and focus on using your burst mode to win the game as quickly as possible. Or you can really knuckle down and focus on controlling board with MirageGaogamons. So, Well, the main combo line is you have your EX4 Gaomon and at least either a boost or a blue training. So you'll Digivolve into your BT16 Mirage. Your opponent will draw a card. If they have 8, you'll gain 1. And then your inheritable, you gain another 1, so it's a free evolve. So you're still on, say, you're on 3 now, whatever it is. Then you'll Digivolve into Honkurumon for 3. On Digivolve, you'll spit out the Gaomon. Gaomon forces both players to draw a card. And then your egg will trigger. Because you played a Digimon from your Digivolution sources, you get to gain a memory from Honkurum's effect. And then you spit out one of your floodgates or another Gaomon. So that's good either way, just because drawing extra cards is always nice, helps consistency, helps enable your game plan. Or you get to stop your opponent from playing the game by spitting out one of your floodgates. And then after you Digivolve into Hunkuru, you're always trying to want to get into Mirage. Just because this is the big bad of the deck. This card kinda just needs to get hit in some sort of aspect. Whether it goes to 0 or to 1, it needs to be gone. The card's just too strong at the moment. We're just amount of searching, and every deck does. Like every deck needs to draw, so this card just stops that. And so the whole point of Honku being so good is you get to go wide as well, so you can build into your second Mirage stack and just control the board that way. Like, it's ridiculous how good this deck can be. Yeah, but I've been testing this list for a little while now just to get ready for Nats. And honestly, it feels good into a good 80% of the decks I'm expecting to see our Nats. My biggest problem so far is dealing with the 3 Great Angels, just because the Digimon protection effect. If they can combo that with BT15 and Jawamon, it's really hard to burn through their security because they just keep recovering it once they get down to 3 or lower. But other than that, I'm pretty comfortable playing this into every deck in the format. I don't feel like there's a real big bad matchup for this besides the Angels. So hopefully I just don't run into any Angels all day and I should be having a good time.
I believe. So in January you have regionals, right?
Nuts.
Sorry, Nats.
Yeah, so it's our big event for Oceanic.
All right,
And
cool.
we're the only ones that are going to be playing Nats in the EX8 format as well, so that'll be exciting.
Oh, so like we're testing now, but we're also gonna have EX8.
We are going to have EX8, yeah.
Wild. All right, we better get
yeah,
testing even more then.
Yeah, 100%, bro. We only get it like a week before the thing that comes out too, so it's like, bro.
No, I'm keen
So
to
got to
see
learn
what
what everything.
Josh cooks up with dinos.
Yeah, no, that'd be heaps good. I'm very excited to play Gallant again for a while after Nats, so it should be good fun.
Oh, true. You get Gallant support too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all the best for the big Nats. We better
Yeah,
get
cheers, brother.
testing.
Appreciate it. Yeah, let's get into it, eh?
All right. Many
All right,
more
thanks for having me,
locals
brother.
wins to you, brother.
Yeah, cheers, man. Thanks for having me.